What are we going to say? We're going to say, welcome to... Well, I'm making it up as we go along now.
The Tuesday show. Let's start with that.
Just the Tuesday show.
Welcome to the Tuesday show.
Well, hang on. How's it go?
Apparently there's ducks in the jingle as well.
No, bear with me. Hang on. The Tuesday show.
Hang on.
Welcome to the Tuesday Show with CJ and Ted. Coming up, lots to talk about. There's music and chat with Tim Mullineaux from The Lucky Face, and we'll be looking ahead at what's going to be happening on the series.
Ted, we're finally here. We are recording episode 1 of the Tuesday Show, and it's been a long time in the making. Yeah.
Thank you and good night. So we got lots to talk about, as I just said. What are we going to talk about?
Well, funny you should say that. I've put together a montage of some of the stuff that we've done over the last however many months.
We'll play it then.
I will. Cue the montage.
Come on, buddy. It's better be good.
And he walked back in, basically, as I was going, Mr. New.
Am I wearing trousers? Who knows? Will I get kicked out of this Costa?
How did you get here? Through the door like everybody else.
I thought to cheer myself up, I'd watch stuff about the Middle East conflict then.
Children called quinoa and chia.
Actually, it was. It's when we've been thrown out that I got the bottle thrown at my head.
Hopefully in Japan.
I'd like to go to Japan.
The stereotypical Irishman having a point against it, I didn't want to let you down,
Marks and Spencer's gourmet baby food.
Was it the fact that I had a beard?
It's the best tenner you'll ever spend.
So there you have it, folks. Loads of good stuff there. We've spoken to comedians, we've spoken to improv artists, we've spoken to musicians. All of that is coming up over the next few weeks.
They've even spoken to us as well.
They spoke to us at the same time. It was not a one-way conversation, thankfully. Because that would be incredibly boring.
Talking of boring, let's have a break from this and have some music.
Yes. And this is...
The Lucky Face with Are You Okay, Hun?
Something cryptic the other day and waited for your friends to say, are you okay, hon? Are you okay, hon? Sad face, hashtag terrible night. Sit back and watch the people write. Are you okay, hon? Are you okay, hon? Well, I really don't care if you're having a mare. You can keep it all under wraps. But if you must share with the world out there, could you tell us what is wrong, perhaps? Oh, perhaps. Dive in and they show their concern, but you know we're never going to learn if you're okay, hon. Are you okay, hon? 'Cause you'll say I can't tell you on here, I'll have to PM you, dear. Are you okay, hon? Are you okay, hon? Well, I really don't care if you're having a mare. You can keep it all under wraps. But if you must share with the world out there, could you tell us what the hell is wrong? Perhaps, perhaps. another day and waited for your friends to say, are you okay, hon? Are you okay, hon?
And that's the Lucky Face. And we'll be hearing from Tim a little bit later on the show. But yeah, there's a Facebook page doing the rounds called You OK Hun?
Is there?
Yeah. Have you not seen that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Mickey Take page. I can't believe you've not seen that.
I haven't seen that. I'm actually going to pull it up now.
Right. See if you can find the Facebook page as well.
Wait, steady. So yes, I'm now finding the Facebook page. What that's about. No, I had no idea there was a Facebook page called Are You OK Hun?
Yeah.
So hold on,
I think it's just called You OK Hun? OK, as in O and then K.
You OK Hun? Look at that. Just for fun.
Just for fun.
I don't think there's anything to do with Tim, though, is it?
No, not at all.
Oh, right, so we're just kind of segued into...
Yeah.
All right, no, that's fine, okay.
Yeah. Facebook. Twitter is also available. So anyway, MySpace. Is MySpace still a thing?
Oh, yeah, it's still going, just no one uses it anymore. Same with, like, Bebo as well.
Bebo.
No one uses Bebo, but it's still there. I think it's a streaming service now, if I remember correct. Yeah.
Do you know what time Sean Connery gets to Wimbledon?
About 10ish.
Tennis.
Tennis. Who said tennis to me the other day? Oh, that's right. I think I was in the...
It happened to me the other day as well.
I was down the radio station and they said, about 10ish. And it was so hard just to...
Every time it happened to me the other day as well.
Tennis.
Somebody said, oh yeah, tennis. I thought, tennis. I'm going to go to Wimbledon. Watch some tennis. Tennis. Miss Moneypenny. Shall we go and watch some tennis? Would you like a game of tennis?
Anywho.
Anyway, so professional.
Totes.
Totes profession balls.
So how did this podcast come about then?
Well, I was going to ask you the same question.
All right.
I thought it was your idea.
Yeah.
I think we're both to blame.
I think we are.
Yeah, it's been a few months in the making, hasn't it?
Many months.
Many months. Many beers. Many
Mixed grills.
Many mixed grills.
All day breakfasts.
Without tomato or mushroom.
Without tomato or mushroom, that is very important. No tomatoes, no mushroom. I don't need fungus on my breakfast. Thanks.
No. So, when did we decide to do this?
Oh, it must have been July.
July, summertime.
July last year.
And we had quite a few ideas, many of which I'm sure the listeners will be glad to hear that we dropped. And many different names for the show. In fact, the mind boggles as to what some... In fact, the mind boggles was one possible option for the show name.
What was going through our head at that point? Lord knows.
Yeah. Here's some of my favourites. I've got the list in front of me. Okay, this is what we were going to call the Tuesday show. This is what it could have been called. It could have been called Pie and a Pint. Mm-hmm. Now, I like that as the idea of a feature. Maybe explore that later on.
I'm sure the listeners would love the sound of us just eating and drinking.
Indeed. I'm sure there's websites for that. Peaks and troughs. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Again, troughs. That's making me think of food again. Chips and cheese.
Yep.
Pigeon on a chair.
I'm sure that was one of my ideas, the old pigeon on a chair.
Pigeon on a chair. I like the idea of it. We'll see how this goes, and then maybe we might start a Pigeon on a Chair podcast. Ham and cheese. There's a lot of food here.
So there's clearly a lot, and I think we should point out that most of the food ones were your idea.
Were they?
They were.
Mustard mash.
Yeah, that was yours.
Chips and dips.
That was yours.
Oh, this one, definitely. This is yours. Potato.
Yeah, totally.
Is it potato or potato?
Well, originally I thought potato, but then how do you write down potato?
I don't know. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Fatman and blobbin. That's the next one on the list. Who's fatman, who's blobbin?
I think the listeners could decide that.
I think the listeners have got a right to know, if anything. Yeah. You couldn't write it. Well, we haven't managed yet.
So we haven't managed to write anything yet.
The mind boggles, clutching at straws. That seems right, yeah. The next one. Okay. I don't know how this even got on the list.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I wouldn't even want to speculate on that one.
No. All right, here's a classic. This is a potential name for this podcast. Potential name for this show. I'm trying to lead up to it.
It's okay.
It is Big Cat and the Beaver.
I love that you just can't say it with a straight face.
I cannot say
Big Cat and the Beaver.
Big Cat and the Beaver. Again, who's Big Cat? Yeah, I'm going to be Big Cat.
Hey, hang on. I think we should let the listener decide.
I think. Hey, be quiet, Beaver. So, Scampy and Chip. That's another one.
Just one chip. No, not chips. Just
one big chip.
Big fat chip.
One big fat chip on your shoulder.
Mm.
Because you're called Beaver. And here we go, at the bottom of the list. And I like it, and I think you'll like it too. The Tuesday Show.
Yeah, I like that one.
That has stuck. Big Cat and the Beaver did not stick,
No.
thankfully. I'd find it very difficult to do any kind of intro if it was...
Welcome to Big Cat and the Beaver.
Anyway, we went to London.
We did.
That was a few weeks ago now. We're still editing bits of that.
Yes.
But we did go out. We did speak to a number of people, one of whom we've already mentioned was Tim from The Lucky Face. We've heard a track already, and that was You OK Hun. Now we're going to listen to a track called...
You're Not the Girl in This Song. That's the name of the track, not me saying you're not the girl in this song. Because you're not the girl in that song, it's some other bird.
I'm not the girl in any song.
Well, I don't know.
I tell you what, should we just play the music?
Just play the damn song.
Can I get a word in? I don't know where to begin, but you can iron your pride, and you can set the paranoia aside, because you're not the girl in this song. If you think you are, then you'd be wrong. You're not the one I despise. If you say you are, that would be lies. Such lies. I see you whining again, like you're my only friend, walking around like a star. Well, you're thinking you're more important than you actually are. Well, ha ha, you know it's nice to be loved, and frowning never seems to stop you singing along. But you're wrong, and if you keep going on, I'll have to put you in the next one. But you're not the girl in this song. If you think you are, then you'd be wrong. No, you're not the one I despise. If you say you are, that would be lies. And lies are bad. They drag me down and leave me sad. They tear me up inside. Liars, they're the one thing that I just can't abide. I just can't abide. But you're not the girl in this song. If you think you are, then you'd be wrong. You're not the one I despise. If you say you are, that would be lies. You're not the girl in this song. If you think you are, then you'd be wrong. You're not the one I despise. If you say you are, that would be lies. You're not the girl in this song. If you think you are, then you'd be wrong. You're not the one I despise. If you say you are, that would be lies. You're not the girl in this song. If you think you are, then you'd be wrong. You're not the one I despise.
Right, so we're sat outside the Finsbury in Finsbury Park with Tim of the Lucky Face.
That's it. That's correct.
Welcome to
Thank you
the
very
show.
much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming along.
That's all right. There anyway.
Yeah, and so we're here at the Finsbury. So what are you doing tonight?
Well, we're doing a little charity thing for. Sorry about the people shouting in the background. It's all the fans. No, we're doing a charity thing. My friend Steve runs a night here monthly, and it's his annual charity Christmas thing. So we'll have a bit of fun, do a few tunes later on about 10ish, and then that's that really. There's lots of acts on. So.
Yeah, and you've given us a CD.
We have, I don't do a lot of CDs now. It's all streaming and download, but I always do a few every time, you know. Well, the new one is called AI.
AI.
It's a bit of a, just having a laugh with a silly robot on the front. And that came out in, when did that come out? September, was it? Or December? Was it? Oh, you probably know better than me. Was it November? I know it. Recently, put it that way.
Yeah.
Probably November, that's when it came out. I don't know when this is going out. So.
This will be
last November.
Yeah, that's
well, it was the 10th
it.
of November, wasn't it? I'm good at all that stuff, yeah. And it's, what has it got, 12 tracks on, it's just usual bits and pieces. A lot of new stuff on there, a lot of older stuff that never got recorded before.
So we were looking back a little bit on your illustrious history.
Illustrious is one way of putting it.
Yeah.
Illustrious.
Yeah.
Some might say.
Digging the dirt on you. You started out in Little English.
Oh yes,
Up
that
north?
was a long time ago, back in the day.
Mind telling us a bit about Little English, how that came around?
That was a school band, and we were actually quite big in town, but that wasn't difficult in those days. And we used to play all around the northwest, and the usual thing. And then two of us carried on and moved down to Nottingham, and then he left, and I moved out to London and carried on with a new band. But Little English was just a school band that went on a bit longer than school, That was where I started writing songs,
So, is there any of that music still around from Little English?
No, none of those. I wouldn't play any of those now in a million years. The next band, Vim, there was one song on the new album, Whatever Somehow, that I wrote for that band, so that's on there, but that never got recorded. That was written in about 98, 99, something like that. And it's only just been recorded now, so,
Well.
But if it still sounds alright 20 years after, then,
you've got a good song.
Yeah,
right?
it's alright.
Yeah.
But Vim itself, then,
You've got a story behind the name there, have you?
There was a story, yeah. That was when they used to do the bands the Britpop bands used to do the seaside tours, didn't they? In the mid-90s Britpop time. And Blur came to Morecambe, and Pulp. I think Pulp might have come first. And we all met. We were kids. We all met Jarvis out in the car park, and he was gracious enough to sign everybody's ticket. And on my ticket, he wrote Tim Hughes Vim. So I just thought, when I couldn't think of a name, because you can never think of names for bands, can you? I called it Vim and told everyone that Jarvis had named it. So some people believed me,
Well, you got the photos to prove it as
got
well.
the photos.
Yeah.
It's a big deal when you're a kid in a provincial town meeting someone like Jarvis in those days, because you never met anybody. When you come to London, you meet them all, if you hang around in the right places. But in Lancaster or Morecambe, you don't meet anybody. So.
Yeah.
How old were you at that point?
What year would that be? I'd probably be 19, something like that.
Wow.
Which was not that young, but
A fan of Jarvis Cocker and Blur and.
We loved them all, yeah, because it was our thing when that all came out, wasn't it? We were part Supergrass, was my favourite band.
Yeah.
And we were all part of that thing, and Oasis, and we went to see some of these bands, small cheap gigs. You look at the ticket prices now, because even the Pulp one was £7. You know what I mean? And they were a top 10 band at the time.
Yeah.
£7, and now what would it be? £80 probably. And Blur were £9. I think Blur were £9. And now look at it, £80 if you're lucky. But it was great, because people bought the records, so the records pay for the tour. Nowadays, the tours pay for the records.
Yeah,
so
it's the other way around.
that's the way it is.
And for The Lucky Face, where are the influences back then?
It's all basically, I went away for a bit. Vim sort of imploded. We had loads of industry bits and pieces going on and wranglings, and I had some issues, so I just left London for a couple of years and came back and started on my own because of the stresses and strains of keeping a band together, especially when you're mates and you don't want to have to kick people out and things like that. No, it is. And then it's all right. It's not an interesting. Oh, where are you?
No, you're right. You carry on.
Carry on.
Clapping mic.
Oh, cheers, mate. It's a match. Yeah, no, it's not a big.
You know, if you put a fan in that'll keep you warm.
Well, I'm warm enough. I've got a coat.
I'm just saying.
I've got a coat for that.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you can crack on.
Yeah, just don't be sharp.
That's fine.
No, you crack on. Don't worry about it.
It's Sorry, where were we?
Open source chat. Yeah. You were,
Oh yeah. So I just came back and did that. When sometimes used a couple of musicians here and there, and then, you know, with it was always the intention to do a full band, but when the technology came in to be able to record your own albums at home properly, I just thought, well, I don't really need to, so I did it that way. But it's not the greatest thing live when you're trying to replicate it. You know.
You mentioned issues, problems with Vim. Do you mind if I mention this? As mentioned on your history page, the rock and roll disagreement got thrown out of your first gig.
Oh, that was great. You know what? That was actually. I was looking because I've been packing the house up to move, and I found the photographs of that gig, and it was down in Penge, and it was basically I just got these two guys, and eventually we got a keyboard player, Chris, who's now keyboard player for James Blunt, and Imelda May, and who else is he doing? John Grant. So at the moment he's doing Blunty on tour. And he's very good. And he was, he's been on TV all year on the One Show and stuff like that. But, sorry, I'm forgetting, I'm just bigging up Chris there. What was I saying? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Penge. And it was a strange gig. My girlfriend at the time's band were also playing, so we sort of dived on the bill just as a rehearsal gig. And we were stood outside, and there's a railway station right next to it, a railway line, right next to it. And I was stood at the side of the pub, and someone hurled a bottle out of the train, and it missed my head by a couple of inches, smashed all over the thing. Cool. That was probably a sign. Give it up, Tim. And then, Dirk was in there. Don't even start at that point, first London gig. I was doing tribute stuff at the time as well, so I'd done other stuff, but this was the first proper My Stuff gig. But then Dirk got in. Dirk was over from Germany. He'd only been over for about a few months, and he thought it was all right to smoke weed inside pubs, which even in 1997 you couldn't do and get away with. And we all got thrown out onto the street just after we played, so we were stuck outside waiting. That's probably actually when I got a bottle thrown at my head. Actually, it's when we've been thrown out that I got the bottle thrown at my head. So yeah, it was one of those. It was all right. It was an interesting start.
And in pretty good company there. An NME night with...
We did, we did an NME night with Coldplay and another band called Airborne. And it was a good one. It was actually when they were getting signed night, and it was pretty much all the industry was there. I've got a really good Steve Lamacq story from that night, but I don't know if I should tell you it. You know what? No, actually, thing is, he might not, there might be a time when I want him to play some stuff. I'll tell you off the record later. I'll get myself into trouble with it. We were over in France a few months ago, and I did an interview with this guy. It was for Simon, my bass player. Well, we were both doing gigs on the same night, but this filmmaker came and interviewed us off the cuff, and I was talking about meeting some of the kooks, and I shouldn't have been saying stuff, and then 2 days later Luke Pritchard was there doing a film about the kooks. Yeah. And luckily I've got the copy of the interview, so it's all right. I'll stop that. Do it again. I'll tell you later.
Fair enough.
Basically, I can't keep my mouth shut.
What did you do to Chesney Hawkes, though? Yeah, the Chesney Hawkes incident.
Chesney used to share our rehearsal room, which was under the arches in Clapham. We used it from 97 to 2000 probably. And Ches used to come in, and his dad used to pick up the bill, Chip Hawkes. So the guy who ran the place, I won't name him, he used to say, "Oh, Chesney doesn't have to pay. He just says, invoice me, Dad." So Chip would pay for that. And then he was in the rehearsal before us, and we went in. My band, one was Italian, one was German. They didn't know who the hell he was. Yeah. This is the one and only, wasn't big in Europe, apparently. Yep. Well, it was massive over here. And so Chesney walked out, and I went, "Chesney Hawkes," and they're like, "Who?" And I went, "Chesney Hawkes," and I went on to say about him and his career. Yeah. Which is obviously, dad hits. And he walked back in, basically, as I was going, "Chesney Hawkes," and explaining who he was, and he wasn't too pleased. He was not pleased. But anyway, that was not about that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But obviously, Ches, if you're listening, I love the stuff, love everything you've done since.
I'll be over the moon if Chesney Hawkes is listening to this. I think we've made it then.
Most people are nice guys.
Well, maybe this is when he goes, unsubscribe. Yeah. Okay.
You can do without one more listener.
Yeah. So, So you've done a bit of podcasting yourself.
I did a long time ago. We had a little record company. My wife, who is wife now, wasn't then, set up a record label called Stalker Records. And Steve is running the night. He was on there as well. Or, on there. We just used to do stuff, compilations and things. With bands like people from Smudge and the songwriter from the Lemonheads, Tom Morgan, and people like that were on there. And what's his name? Darren Hanlon, who's big in Australia. He was on there. And we used to do these little things, and a lot of unknown people. And she said at the time, I want to do a radio thing, so I started doing this podcast. It was only every month or every 2 months or whenever I could do it on a really rudimentary equipment, But it was good fun. I listen to it now, and it was a bit over the top, so I wouldn't let anyone hear it now. But it was fun.
What kind of stuff did you talk about on the podcast?
I just played a lot of the stuff that I liked and a lot of established stuff that I liked and the bands off the compilations, and then just insulted people really for most of the time.
Okay.
And made silly jingles and play. I used to run a night in Greenwich called The Twist, and I'd play live stuff from there on there. But, I probably only did about 7 or 8. It just felt like more because so much work went in, and they lasted quite a while and things like that. So it was over a couple of year period, or 18 months or whatever, but didn't do it that often.
So you're here now then?
Yeah, now then.
So how did that all come around?
Just like I say, I came back to London, needed something to do, needed a vehicle for the songs, and just started doing it on my own. Getting the band together took longer than it's supposed to. It never really happened. And then by the time it got to 2008 or 7 or whatever it was, it suddenly you were able to make your own stuff cheaply at home.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was made in a studio, which you couldn't do in the 90s. Absolutely no way. We used to use studios in the 90s that were amazing, but now I can make the guitar sound better in my loft. You know what I mean? And you think, well, how did that happen? And all the guys, obviously, who worked in those places, I was reading a Butch Vig interview, and he sold his studio because there's no point in having a studio, even if you're Butch Vig, because nobody's using it.
Yeah. Is there any story behind the name, The Lucky Face? Or?
I think it was a John Lennon quote or something from when he was. There is a John Lennon thing. I think because I was always influenced by that stuff, and there's a video of him when he was doing it was either at a gig or at a book thing, and he says, "Thank you very much, you've got a lucky face," and that was the only thing he said and sat down. I think that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
But there was other things as well, at that time. It's just something to have, because I needed a name for the thing. But I don't really like it anymore because I've been using it for since 2003 or something, which is quite a long time. So it's probably time I change, do something else. But I wanted to do 3 albums with this name, just to get rid of the songs that people have heard live that might be associated with,
Yeah. That's a good segue into talking about the albums then. So,
where's the album art come from? I want to ask.
The album art?
Yeah.
I've actually got the head in my bag, actually. I made this. Obviously, it's a bit of a joke on the robot, the AI thing that's happening. And we're all going to lose our jobs, and the cars are going to be driverless and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just getting the head of the robot out of the bag now. It's an Aldi bag. Other supermarkets are available. Here we go, here's the head. So I'm going to use that on stage tonight. He has the hat on, which I've got in the venue there, but you can have the head. But he kept falling down. I've got the shoes. The shoes from the album cover of the robot are actually a raffle prize tonight for charity.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can, if you were here, which you're not going to be because you're listening months later, you could have won the shoes. You should have been in.
I love the fact that you carry the robot head around with you.
Well, I've only done it once before, and it probably won't last much longer. So I thought, I'm going to do it as a stage prop because I love this band. He's got a nice stage and everything. So we use it in here tonight, and then see what happens. I might stand on it later. It's early yet. Anything can happen by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So have you played here before then?
Yeah, loads of times. Yeah, it's one of the best. In fact, it's one of the only decent London venues now because it used to be 10 a penny, didn't they? Now, but for stage and sound, and it's good. The bar prices aren't good, but
Any other noteworthy venues you've played?
Well, we used to do Barfly and stuff, and we played everywhere in London. I've had other bands, I've been in other bands that have played everywhere in London, and just the circuit, pretty much every venue. Not many we haven't played, but then the venues are going. There's not many venues left compared with the 90s or even the early noughties, where everywhere was acoustic. You could walk every pub would be doing something every night.
Where's your dream venue then? Where's the pinnacle of the career for you to play?
I'd love to play massive stuff, but it's one day I want to get the big band with the horns and all the rest of it and do it, but I'm old, so. And I'm also moving out of London next week, so
Right, okay.
end of next week. But that doesn't mean we're not going to play in London,
Yeah,
It means not going that far.
All right.
But yes, I have more time to get a proper band together and do it, But it's difficult because you've got to pay them.
Okay. If you have to,
Well, if you want good ones, yeah.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Good ones, available ones.
Yeah.
Ones that'll turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. So, apart from
play.
Simon, obviously, I play with his thing, and his drummers just sort of disappeared because we went off the radar for a few years. But he does it for me as well, so we just do, we generally do it like that, and it's easy. And when we know we're mates and we do it. But it's to get any more people involved and get them all in the same place at the same time, and all the great people are in 24 bands. You can edit all this crap out, rambling.
That's fine. It's just going to be an interview of questions and no answers. That's what it'll be.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Just insert your own answer.
Yeah.
So this guy will do it.
So the albums then. What's the story behind each of your albums?
Well, the first one was just I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one. It was really lo-fi. We had a flat in Lewisham. I basically recorded it in the spare bedroom with wooden floors, no acoustic. But it's got some good songs on, but if you listen to it, it's quite lo-fi in a lot of places. A couple of them are alright. The ones without pretend drums on are alright. And the second one I had a lot better gear, and it was all recorded where I live now. I've got a studio upstairs, proper studio. Well, proper studio. With better gear, better, all the rest of it. And that's the same setup. I've got a different desk for the third one. It's a slightly different desk from the other two, but slightly different, totally different. But it's properly done right. The first one was a bit like, I'll get all the gear out from under the bed and we'll record it in the corner, piss the neighbours off. Because it was a ground floor flat. There was a guy upstairs not happy. The fact that I was yelling my head off. John, you always get the fit one and all the rest of it.
Was he a blue mandel on the ceiling type?
Sort of. He actually said to my wife once, "Do you play the guitar?" Well, we used to have lots of sort of late night gatherings in those days, and he was. I don't think he threatened a shooting at one point. Not the nicest. He would never do it. He was an old boy. I have to come round with my shotgun. I will. Oh, will you?
Everyone's a critic.
Yeah. Not that bad, I said. Some people pay to see this.
So AI is the latest one.
Yep.
Is that available now?
That's out now. It came out on the 10th of November. I just remembered the day after earlier. But there'll be some more singles coming out. But I've got to move first and get the rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like I say, it's half and half sort of brand new stuff and half stuff that I've been playing live for years, but never recorded satisfactorily. So you get it when you. They tend to come at the right time. When you've got the right setup and the right.
So we're going to be going out January, February next year. That'll be cool. 2018. So where are you going to be up to there?
I think we're going to have Loretta's going to be a single, because I've got a safer version with less. It's not bad swearing, in it, but it's got beeps in it or silly noises instead, so that people can play it if they want on the radios and the podcasts without the shite in it and the whatever in the arse, because people get offended by things, don't they?
Yeah.
So I've cut those out. So there'll be a single with that on as well, so people can play that one if they want. And I don't know yet, maybe one more off it, but I'll probably have done loads of new stuff by then, in which case I'll just do that instead, But yeah, Loretta will be one, definitely.
Yeah. Early next year.
Yeah, end of January blues, but
nice.
As long as I've got broadband, then I can set everything up.
And notable gigs at all next year?
Nothing yet, because like I say, I don't even know where I'm going to be in 2 weeks' time, because we're still waiting to find out about a house move, so I've not planned anything after this, and this was a short notice as well, so yeah there will be next year. I'll have more time to sit down and
Well, we look forward to hearing when those dates are going to be, and
I'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll let people know. Yeah.
Hopefully some people will come around and give you money. That's exactly what you
money,
want.
That'd be nice. Money. Imagine that.
Anything we haven't asked and you would like to cover?
You've made me slag loads of people off. Chesney, man.
I'm sure Chris Martin gets a copy of it.
long time ago.
So, anybody listening to this, they want to find your music, where can they find it, and where can they find more about The Lucky Face?
Oh, go to theluckyface.co.uk, that's the website, and all the links are on there. Well, I say that, I haven't looked recently. I update most of it, but I don't know if all. Or, go to Spotify and or the Apple Music or all the rest of it, or just download it and actually get paid. Imagine that, paid. So, yeah, just look it up. AI is a new one.
Social media?
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, I don't really do a lot of that stuff. It's sort of annoying. But I do tweet a bit, probably sat at home drinking, slagging Elton John's hair off. Instagram, we just sort of started doing that as well. So, it's just the Lucky Face on everything, because nobody else has got that. There is a covers band called Lucky Face in the States, so don't go there. Don't go to that one, because that's a covers band.
Do they cover you or just other people?
Just me, yeah. They're only no, they're just. I think they're a wedding band.
Right, okay.
But they made a big point out of putting something on one of their things once saying, since 1986 or something like that.
Yeah.
They'd obviously been getting confusion.
Yeah.
But there we are.
Yeah.
We'll finish off with another track. Tim, thanks very much
for
meeting us, and
very nice.
great to see you. And I'm sure we'll see you again. We'll see you at
hopefully
gigs, and we'll listen out for what you do.
Brilliant.
Thank
you very much.
Thanks, Tim.
See you later.
Bye now.
Are you breaking my heart? Are you breaking my heart? Well, you're cruel and you're mean and you're tearing my scene apart. When you're looking so good, when you're proud in the hood, your smile really blows my mind and it boils my blood. I said you were brazen, you said you were shy, but I said, isn't that amazing? You said I could say goodbye. But you're breaking my heart. And when you bothered my light, you returned it, it was dark. I said you were brazen, you said you were shy, but I said, isn't that amazing? You said I could say goodbye. But you're breaking my heart. When you bothered my light, should have turned it, it was dark. Are you breaking my heart? Oh, breaking my heart. My poor half empty, aching plenty heart.
So that was When You Borrowed My Light by The Lucky Face. I really, really enjoyed that track. Very upbeat, definite contrast to the other two tracks that we've heard.
I tell you what I really liked was the interview. Great guy, Tim, and he had a story for every question we asked.
Some of those stories were cracking as well, no doubt about it.
And there'll be more podcasts just like that coming up over the next few weeks. You know, we were talking about films the other day. I think I mentioned that I'd just re-seen Notting Hill.
Yes.
And you let slip that you never actually watched it.
I've never seen Notting Hill.
Never seen Notting Hill.
On my list.
It's on your. It's not on your list, is it?
Not on my list at all.
Well, guess what? I've got news for you. We might just put it on your list, because I came up with a great idea. You know, we were talking about having a film review for the show.
Yeah.
Well, I thought, well, what better way of doing this than actually having a film review of some of the classics that perhaps one of us hasn't seen, starting with you and Notting Hill.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear, indeed. So, yeah, we could perhaps offer that up as a challenge to you to go away and watch Notting Hill and then tell us what you think.
Okay, I guess that's something for me to do this week.
That is something for you to do this week. I don't know what other films we could have that we can do this thing. Have we got any other classics we can think of?
That I've seen or that you've seen? Or...
either way.
Well, I know there is one that I've definitely seen that you haven't, and that is Labyrinth.
I have not seen Labyrinth.
It's one of my all-time favourite movies. The music is fantastic. The story is brilliant. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a David Bowie classic. Who doesn't like David Bowie?
Nobody.
Exactly. So I thoroughly recommend that you should go and watch that one.
Okay, well, we'll consider that for the next episode.
Right.
Have you seen Snakes on a Plane?
I've never seen Snakes on a Plane.
Okay, neither have I.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, my question is, has anyone seen Snakes on a Plane? Because it gets referenced a lot.
It does.
Yeah, people are like, oh, yeah, Snakes on a Plane. But...
Yeah.
In that voice. But has anyone actually seen Snakes on a Plane? Listeners, if you've seen Snakes on a Plane, let us know.
Yeah, please tell us. Because I don't think I know anybody that's seen Snakes on a Plane.
No.
That's one of those movies that, like you say, it is referenced.
Is it Samuel L. Jackson?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Now, I'd be interested to know if Samuel L. Jackson has seen Snakes on a Plane. But, yeah, what else could we have? You'll have seen, like, I don't know, The Italian Job?
I've seen, well, which one are we talking about? Because I've seen both. I've seen the original and...
No, come on, the original.
Yeah, no one cares about it.
Nobody cares.
No, of course, I've seen The Italian Job. Again, who hasn't seen it? If you haven't seen The Italian Job, you need to tell us.
Yep.
And you also need to now go away and watch it.
Yeah.
Because it is an amazing movie.
Yeah. If I pause this now and go and watch The Italian Job.
Yeah.
In fact, what else? Zulu.
Oh, see, another Michael Caine classic. Absolutely love Zulu. What an amazing movie.
If you haven't seen, listeners, if you've not seen Zulu by now, then just get in the sea.
Yeah, just go away.
Classic film. What's the name of the sergeant?
Colours Aren't Born. Yeah. Oh, he's my favourite. Again, but yeah, I very much judge a movie based on the music that comes out of it.
And the number of Zulus.
Totally the number of Zulus, yeah.
But thousands of them.
Do your button up, lad. Where do you think you are? But no, I definitely base a movie on its music, being an absolute music lover. I mean, just the theme song for Zulu, bum, 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 bum. I mean, come on, that's amazing.
Yeah. Men of Harlech, stop your dreaming. Can't you see their spear points gleaming?
See their warriors' pennants streaming to this battlefield.
Men of Harlech, stand ye steady, it cannot they ever set ye. For the battle we're not ready, stand and never yield. Yeah, it's a classic. So, Notting Hill. Next week, your review.
Yep, I will watch Notting Hill.
I and the listeners shall look forward to that.
Fantastic.
Moving on.
If there's anything that you as the listeners feel that we need to watch, that you may think we haven't, we'd like to hear from you.
Excellent.
Notting Hill. It's a Hugh Grant movie, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yeah.
And of course, we'd also like to hear what you think of the show. Is there anything you want us to do?
As long as it's legal.
Decent.
Legal, decent, physically possible.
Yep.
We'll have a stab at it.
Anything you'd like to hear us talk about, by all means get in touch. You can get us via direct message on Twitter by searching for @Tuesday_podcast. You can also get us on Facebook, which is the Tuesday Show Podcast. And don't forget, you can email us as well. Our email address is cjandted@thetuesdayshow.co.uk.
And we want your feedback. We want to hear what you've got to say about the show. We want your content. If you've got something you want to share, whether it's music, whether it's a bit of comedy, whether it's, whatever it is, just send it through to us. We can delete it if it's totally inappropriate.
We'll try not to. We obviously like a full range of ideas. We'll try not to delete it unless it's obviously completely inappropriate.
Yeah. And when you're on our social media, don't forget to share it, to like it, and make sure that all of your friends, relatives, cats, dogs, such like.
If your cat is on Facebook, please send me their @handle so I can find them.
Yes. If you've got a pet that's got its own social media presence, get in touch and we'll give them a shout out.
Yeah, we will like and subscribe. No doubt about that.
All right, Beaver. It's the big cat starting to talk. Meow. So now, to play us out, quite appropriately, is The Lucky Face with End Song.
Life has filled you with despair and taught you not to care about tomorrow. And life has led you to believe there's nothing up your sleeve apart from sorrow. But it's not what you got, it's how you lose it. And it's not where you've been, it's where you've gone. And it's not what you want, but how you choose it. That's how a heart and love is won. Life has caught you on the wrong day, rubbed you up the wrong way, dragged you under. And life has torn you from the bright lights, stolen all your fight and sense of wonder. But it's not what you got, it's how you lose it. And it's not where you've been, it's where you've gone. And it's not what you want, but how you choose it. That's how a heart and love is won. And though these hard times hit you on the ass, these times will never last. These times will make to pass. And when those good days roll around the bend, they'll hold you like a friend. They'll find you in the end. And though these hard times bit you on the ass, these times will never last. These times will make to pass. And when those good days roll around the bend, they'll hold you like a friend. They'll find you in the end. And though these hard times bit you on the ass, these times will never last. These times will never last. And when those good days roll around the bend, they'll hold you like a friend. They'll find you at the end. And though these hard times bit you on the ass, these times will never last. These times will never last. And when those good days roll around the bend, they'll hold you like a friend. They'll find you at the end. And though these hard times bit you on the ass.
This has been the first ever episode of The Tuesday Show.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Tuesday_podcast, on Facebook at The Tuesday Show Podcast, and on Instagram at The Tuesday Show. Get in touch with us on email, cjandted at thetuesdayshow.co.uk. You can find Ted on InstaTwitFace at Ted James Media and myself at CJ Brookes FM. That's it. He's Ted James. I'm CJ Brookes. We're out of here.
Until next Tuesday, goodbye.
Goodbye.